So let's do this driving tour of Huntington Harbour in Huntington Beach, California. So before we get to Huntington Harbour, we kind of just want to show you what does Huntington actually look like, a typical Huntington Beach, because obviously Huntington Harbour is the priciest part of Huntington Beach. So here we are. And we're also doing...
Here we are.
Yes. And we're also doing a video of downtown Huntington Beach. So I might splice this into the downtown Huntington Beach one as well, because it is relevant to both.
Now we went over the bridge and now we're on Trinidad Island. It's really cute. Actually, what's interesting about Huntington Harbour, so you don't get a lot of brand new homes. So, there are some homes that have been torn down and rebuilt, but in general, these homes are definitely on the older side. So just be aware of that. Yeah, and what's interesting too is that these are actually pretty wide streets. So again, when you think about waterfront type homes and stuff, obviously you think of pretty narrow roads. And actually these are not that way. Like they're actually pretty nice, clean roads here. And also the prices in Huntington Harbour are definitely on the higher side for Huntington Beach. So your median price point in Huntington Harbour is $1.45 million. And that's, again, that's inclusive of townhomes, condos, and houses, of course. And then just at houses themselves, it balloons up to $3 million just for the median price. If you're talking about, harbor front, it even goes up beyond that. So just be aware of what the price points are here.
And one of the really nice things about Huntington Beach and all of the coastal cities along all of Southern California is just the spectacular weather. I mean, it cannot get any nicer. I would argue 300 days out of the year, it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, Huntington Beach is an interesting city because you have harbor, you have beach, not a ton of beach though. Like if you're actually wanting water frontage in Huntington Harbour is kind of your main bet because there's only a handful of actual, there are condos that are actually on the beach side of Pacific Coast Highway. So you have beautiful, huge beaches, Pacific Coast Highway, and then you have homes. And actually, one of the properties one of the tours we're going to do is actually downtown Huntington Beach, where you have a lot of homes that are right across from the actual beach itself.
Yeah, that's one of the things that differentiates Huntington Beach from its neighbor to the south, Newport Beach. Newport Beach, you can get a lot of beachfront and a lot of harbor front, whereas Huntington Beach, most of the homes that are fairly close to the beach, like you have the Pacific Coast Highway in between them and the beach, like Sean was saying. So yeah, that's just something to know. So before we continue, let's just introduce ourselves. My name is Courtney Dezad.
And I'm Sean Dezad.
And we are licensed real estate agents here in the state of California.
And if you're watching this channel, you might be thinking, wow, Sean, I love Orange County. I love the glitz. I love the glamour. I love the weather. And I can't wait to move out there now. But the problem is that I'm not local. I'm out, maybe out of state and maybe even out of the country. And I can't do this whole back and forth flying. I can't jet set like that. And I totally get that. That's why I want to reach out to us so we can have that conversation and really find out specifically what you're looking for. And we can be your boots on the ground. And also, not to mention, is that I have other agents on my team that someone is always available for you to help you view those properties. So what you want to do is you want to reach out to us, either give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you are outside the country.
Yeah, and again, it's just depending on what you're looking for, right? In Newport Beach definitely is on the higher side. So Huntington Harbour, which is, definitely on the high side. Newport Beach is still more expensive as a median price point than Huntington Harbor's single family. It's kind of crazy how expensive Newport Beach is. So if you want something that's a bit more reasonably priced, I get depending on where you're watching this. If you're watching this and you're in Tokyo or Hong Kong or London or Paris or something, you're going, oh, this is a really good deal. But other parts of the country or world, you might be going, this is insane.
Yes.
So we totally appreciate that. So we're just kind of giving you a flavor of, hey, this is what $3 million basically gets you
in Huntington Beach.
Whereas
in Newport Beach, it kind of gets you a shack, kind of.
Yeah, it's hard. It's kind of amazing how expensive it is there. And that's why I really we get a lot of reach outs for Huntington Beach because you are still getting coastal Orange County, again, the best weather in the world, and it's a far better price than its its neighbor right behind it, right south of it.
Yeah, and another thing that people like about Huntington Beach as well is that it is closer to Los Angeles. So if you are somebody that has to go into Los Angeles a lot, or maybe you have business out there, or maybe you have a job out there, Huntington Beach is an option. You can go along the Pacific Coast Highway into Long Beach, which is Los Angeles County, or you can, go on to the 405. So
yeah, exactly. So it's not like, so people like to live in Huntington Beach for a variety of reasons. Price is certainly something, but also for sure, location for people that do need to go to LA more often, it is a fantastic option because you are missing a decent amount of traffic by just kind of let's say initially you did want to go a little bit further south to, Newport Beach or Laguna Beach. good luck.
Yeah.
That is a real big pain to get into. A beautiful city, absolutely gorgeous city, but convenience is not one of its strong suits. And I think it's almost designed that way, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. If I had to commute to LA every day, I personally would not want to live in Laguna Beach because it's just too far away. But, and it's too hard to get into. So, yeah, if you are somebody... So, technical difficulties, the camera got too hot, so I don't even know what we were talking about. We're talking about how...
Life, love.
The pursuit of happiness.
The pursuit of happiness.
Those are all questions. Yes, but I think we were talking about how Huntington Beach is a great area if you do have to go into LA.
So now we're going to go into yet another. So we're done with Trinidad Island. Now we're going into Humboldt Island, which is yet another island in this whole Huntington Harbour area. That's Huntington Harbour.
Yes, and there's also something called, I'm just looking at the map right here on the car, something called Hog Island in Seal Beach. I don't know what that is. I don't know why it seems funny to me.
That does sound pretty insane.
Hog Island. I wonder if there used to be wild boars or something there.
You never know.
Yes.
The more you know.
The more you know. Ding, 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 ding.
Yes. And then, Huntington Harbour, it's actually pretty, relatively, would I call it convenient to get to? Not necessarily, no. It's not as far away as let's say if we're comparing this to Newport Harbor is actually rather inconvenient.
Yeah, that's true.
Huntington Harbour is much more convenient from that perspective because it's kind of a straight shot. You take the 405 freeway and exit, let's say Bolsa, and you kind of go down, and you're not 15 minutes from the freeway, I guess, something like that, which isn't terrible.
Yeah, although if you want to compare the stunning beauty of Newport Harbor versus Huntington Harbour, it's not even close.
I think you're gonna get some hate for that one. You said it, I didn't. Hate mail go to her. Although I have to agree. No, Huntington Harbour. Actually, Huntington Harbour does have some gated communities as well. So, depending on what you're looking for, it doesn't have a lot of it, but there are some gated communities in Huntington Harbour. But yeah, Huntington Harbour is just obviously much smaller. I think that's one of the big things. I wouldn't even say it's mostly even a beauty thing. It's mostly just it's nothing of the size of Newport Harbor. Newport Harbor is one of the largest harbors in non-commercial harbors in the entire country. Huntington Harbor, is certainly a good sized harbor, but nothing like a Newport Harbor's size. So just be aware of that. So now we just crossed the bridge into Humboldt Island within Huntington Harbor, and it's Harbor Harbour, not the boring BOR.
Boring.
Yes, it's the British way, which is technically the correct way because that is
Whatever.
where English came
And
from.
where are we in America?
Yes.
Yes.
We are in America.
Yeah, Huntington Harbor is cool though because you get a lot of water frontage, and it's there's nothing quite like it, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, and as we just keep driving through here, just look at how, like Sean was saying before, just look at how big these streets are.
For an island?
For an island, this is kind of blowing my mind. Yeah, this is very interesting. And then
you go down each of these little fingers, and this is all either harbor front or channel front homes.
Yeah, just look at how big these homes are, and they're just gorgeous. Look at these big, gorgeous homes.
Yeah, because it's funny because actually a lot of let's say in Newport Harbor, if we're comparing, I know we may be annoying some people, but obviously it kind of helps to kind of give you some sense of things. In Newport's Harbor, you don't have it doesn't feel like the homes are nearly as big.
No, not consistently.
Yeah, especially now when you're in the islands like Lido Island or Balboa Island, much smaller, right? And they're much more touristy and trafficky. This is the time of year where people are frequenting Southern California big time.
Yeah, although it's not a weekend, so.
But it's still that time of year.
That's true. That is true.
Wide streets, pretty good sized lots. Again, in Newport's Harbor, I mean, lot sizes are like 2,500 square feet, like really, really small. But here, these lot sizes are pretty nice. I mean, you have 3-car garages, like in some of these things, and then again, the homes are big. And again, these homes, like let's say straight ahead, they're on like they're waterfront.
Yeah, and there's lots of people who have boats around here. So if you are a boating enthusiast, this could be something that's an option for you. Although I have heard from people who've gotten boats that the best day of your life. No. The second best day of your life is the day that you get your boat, but the best day of your life is the day that you sell your boat.
But you know what? If you actually have a house with a dock, that has to be a little bit more palatable, because so much of the boat thing is the fact that it's kind of a pain to, let's say, like launch your boat, or let's say you have it in some sort of a marina slip and then you have to drive to that slip. But I mean, if your backyard is the harbor and you have this massive boat dock and then you can just have your boat there, that's pretty cool.
It is, but I mean, I can't imagine, unless you truly were like a boating enthusiast, like how much would you really use it? Like how much would we use it?
Well, okay, but we're not boating enthusiasts.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, how many people are true
I've had boats and rarely ever used them.
Yes, how many people are true boating enthusiasts? I mean, there are. I do actually know 2 people who have sailed around the world. 2 independent people have sailed around the world.
Sasquatch.
Oh, cool.
Dragon. And camel. Oh, and another Sasquatch.
Oh.
Yes, one's Bigfoot, one's I don't exactly know all the rules there. But yeah, so these homes are actually on the main strip, like the main channel of Huntington Harbour. So this is where it's really wide, what they're looking out to on our right-hand side. And obviously on these islands, you have parks and stuff. And it's funny, like just driving down here, you would never think that you're actually on an island. It just doesn't have that, like, you just wouldn't know. But honestly, I still can't get over how wide these streets are. It's just so bizarre to me that they're this wide on an island when land is at such a premium.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we actually have a friend. He grew up in Huntington Beach, and like you were saying, like his dad, when he first moved to Huntington, he actually didn't want to buy in Huntington Harbour because he felt he would have to keep up with the Joneses if he did. And man, that investment turned out to be
Yeah, like, so, I mean, there was that because they were a family with a lot of kids, so keeping up with the Joneses would be very, very expensive. And Huntington Harbour was obviously, it was ritzy then too, but the price disparity wasn't so much. Like, it is kind of funny how things have changed over time, where the premium, like, you would get it would be a little of a premium to be in a nicer area. It wouldn't be ridiculously so. And it just seemed like everything changed in the late 1970s, where people go, wait a second, we should actually do this, where this particular location is of a particular, like, it has some particular value to it that makes it more valuable than other spots. And man, did they explode.
Yeah, and so now we're leaving. You can see, I don't think we've actually filmed ourselves going over a bridge yet because we keep having technical difficulties. So yeah, so now you're seeing like an actual bridge that we're going over.
Amazing bridge.
It's amazing.
Like the Golden Gate Bridge right there.
It is. I feel like we need to do that again.
Brooklyn Bridge?
For our experience, right?
Okay, so now we're driving down in Huntington Harbour. And again, these are neighborhoods that aren't on the ocean. So that's, so you can, on the harbor itself. So you have just like a normal, typical, albeit more expensive neighborhood kind of thing. And then you have the islands, right? So you have waterfront. But again, love Huntington Harbour. It's beautiful.
It is. Oh, and there's a house that looks like somebody's just tore down a house and is redoing the whole thing. You will see that actually quite a bit in all the beach cities. People will buy a lot because, there's beach shacks, right? So they'll buy a beach shack basically for the land, and then they tear it down and then just redo the whole thing. So we just saw that.
We've seen a lot of it, actually.
Yes, we have.
That is a pretty popular thing.
It is. It is.
So now we're going to be crossing over into Davenport Island. Now there's a couple other islands, but they're not as large. So we just want to give you the 3 biggest ones. And then, now we're going to be crossing over to Davenport Island.
Yes, and I will show you some B-roll of the beach and all of the stuff that you can see as you're crossing over into Davenport Island. So let's cross over.
Woo! This is going to be exciting.
Look at us.
Wow.
Okay,
It's almost like we're on a boat. I'm on a boat! Okay, so now we're in Davenport Island.
Yes, and my sister just texted me that it's 170 degrees where she is in Texas, and it is a balmy 77 degrees.
Woo! I don't know how I'm going to survive this one.
Here in Huntington Beach, and you can feel the cool breeze. You can smell the salt air. Just so nice. I mean, that's why it's so expensive and why there's literally people come from all over the world to Orange County because the weather is so nice. And I just feel like it will never stop. If you come here to live, like, a huge reason why people come here is the weather, right? I mean, California's got, like I always say, California's got a lot of problems, but weather ain't one of them.
No, it is not. The weather here, like you said, 76?
77 right now here in Huntington Beach.
Are you ready for this? We're going to go back over the bridge again.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Onto the mainland.
Yes, we're going onto the mainland. Here we are. We are about to go over the bridge and then get on the mainland.
Again, and I don't know if you can appreciate how beautiful it is. It's really nice. Well,
I mean, this is how it usually is. I mean, this is part of the reason why people complain so much when they get here about the weather, because typically it's ideal, right? So if it's not ideal, it's probably not ideal 60 days out of the year. And so on those 60 days, you just really, really complain, because why wouldn't you? You're paying the sunshine tax, and you're going to be mad.
Well, I think Americans in general are known for, talking about the weather. That's just because we really have nothing else to worry about.
Yeah.
And so I don't even know, Californians must be just absolutely insufferable because...
That's true.
Because
I think they're insufferable for a lot of reasons. Us included.
Yeah, so when I say Californians, we're including ourselves.
Yes, we're including ourselves.
Yes. We must be just the absolute worst because...
Oh, I think so.
Because not only do we complain about the weather, you talk about the weather, but what is there to talk about? It's so steady and so consistent and so nice. It's just boring. I mean, it's not even a thought. We have clients that come from, let's say, the Midwest or wherever, and they legitimately do have the whole Ralphie thing where Randy, right? So this is from Christmas Story, where they bundle him up. I can't even imagine what that would be like to actually have to bundle the kids up, put them in a car seat.
Yeah.
It's a pain enough just to put them in a car seat and to take them out. Like that one, you're like, but then you're adding the bundling aspect to it. So I don't even know how that works. But that's
a friend of mine, she's older than me, so her kids are all grown up, and she was saying that when she lived in New York, she would have to bundle her kids up, get in the car, take all the stuff off, put them in the car seat, then they park wherever they are, then you gotta bundle them up again, and then you get out of the car.
That would be I can't imagine how infuriating that would be, actually.
I mean, I guess if you're used to it, although she moved out here, so.
She did. She did. Okay, so now we're kind of driving along the edges of Huntington Harbour, because we want to obviously illustrate too that how close you are to the beach, because you think about Huntington Beach, think about the beach, and then so you're super close to Pacific Coast Highway, which is right next to where the beaches are, and so to our right, this is part of Huntington Harbour right here this way.
Yeah, so there's some condos that are. Yeah, the Huntington Harbour Bay Club is right here.
Yeah, so you have so Huntington Harbor's so the actual water for the harbor, the harbor itself is right there, and then straight ahead is the actual where you get to the beach. So it's super close.
Yeah, so that light that's directly in front of us, although I don't know if oh no, not that light, the one beyond it.
Yes.
That's basically Pacific Coast Highway, and then beyond that is the beach. So and here we're passing by basically the canal in Huntington Harbour that gets you outside onto the beach. Yeah, so here we are. We are going to turn left onto Pacific Coast Highway, and now we are going to do our second tour, which is of downtown Huntington Beach, which is also an awesome part of Huntington Beach, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe to our channel so you can watch that.
And remember, we are licensed realtors here in the state of California, so as much as we love making these videos, what we love more is to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, what you want to do is you want to give us a call or shoot us a text.
Yes, that number is a cell phone, so you can call us or text us, or you can use WhatsApp if you're outside the country.